First of all, imagine that a plane flies in the air and suddenly disappears from the radar. Experts from all over the world are looking for it, but even after exploring every corner of the Earth, there is no proof of it. Now, this is not just imagination, but it has happened in reality. Friends, our story starts on March 8, 2014. Malaysia's Boeing 777 flight number 370 was ready for flight at Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia. Its captain Zaharia Ahmed Shah, co-pilot Farik Abdul Hamid, 10 crew members, and 227 passengers were present in the plane. And like every day, this plane was going to fly from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, China. But this flight was not going to be like every day. This was going to become a history and a mystery that was going to shake your mind. Now friends, this was not a strange thing because this flight was part of the daily routine of 370, but the strange thing happened then when after just 1 minute and 43 seconds, this plane of Malaysian Airlines disappears from the radar. Air control stations of Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam and China, these 4 countries which were tracking the movement of the plane, are suddenly shocked. But this was not so shocking for the air control stations. See, often the transponders in the plane get damaged and they are shut down, after which it was not possible to track the plane with a radar. Now the air control station was trying to contact Flight 370 continuously, but all their efforts proved to be useless. Now the plane was not being tracked here, but the journey from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing was only 4 hours. That means a little wait and then we were going to find out about the plane. But friends, Flight 370 did not reach Beijing Airport even after 4 hours. And friends, this is where the biggest search operation in the history of aviation begins. The last time the signal was received from Flight 370, it was near the Gulf of Thailand in the South China Sea. Now the entire sea of this area was surveyed, but no evidence of Flight 370 was found. At this point, the Malaysian government included the military there in this case, and their air records were checked. Now, point to be noted here, the air control station's radars receive signals from the transponder in the plane, but the military's radars use the technique of reflection so that more accurate information can be received. Now friends, it has been found from military records that Flight 370 took a right turn after its last location in the South China Sea and then took a long left turn and returned to Malaysia. But it does not land in Malaysia, but once again takes a sharp right turn from Penang Island, crossing the entire country and reaches the Andaman Sea. Now friends, most of the areas of the Andaman Sea are part of India, Myanmar and Thailand. That's why the Malaysian military radar's reach was not ahead of it. So, what happened to Flight 370 after this? Well, we got to know its information through satellite connection records. See, the planes that fly in the sky continuously send signals to the satellites, and all these signals are being monitored by some or the other station on the ground. After entering the area of the Andaman Sea, the contact of Flight 370 with the satellite was broken. But only after 3 minutes, contact is requested once again from Flight 370. After this, Flight 370 remains in contact with the satellite for the next 6 hours. And then after that, our contact is permanently broken. But the question is, how did this happen? Well friends, the direct reason for this was that after flying for 6 hours, the fuel of Flight 370 ran out. And by then, if it didn't land anywhere, it means the plane would have crashed somewhere. But before that, where was that plane roaming for 6 hours? Well, the sad thing is that satellite connection records do not give us any information about the location of the flight. During these 6 hours, a ground station in Perth, Australia was monitoring the signals between Flight 370 and the satellite. Now when they notice irregularities in Flight 370, they also try to contact the crew of the plane. But unfortunately, even after calling again and again, there is no response from the other side. But there was still a way to know the location of Flight 370, and that was radio waves. Now see friends, the contact between the plane and the satellite was happening with the help of radio waves. And by measuring the length of these radio waves, we could guess its location. Now, Perth's ground station calculated all the data and guessed that the final location of the plane should be in the far southern region of the Indian Ocean. That means you can see the middle part of Australia and Antarctica, where there is water everywhere. Flight 370 would have crashed somewhere here. But friends, we can't go between the vast ocean by plane or helicopter, and the search team takes 6 days to reach here from the ship. On top of that, the satellite data didn't give any pinpoint location where the search team would have gone and found flight 370 in a minute. Now the estimated area taken out of the satellite data was spread over 45 lakh square kilometers. Now just for comparison, our India's total area is about 33 lakh square kilometers. Although the search team still does not give up and investigates every inch of the area. But despite all the hard work, they do not get anything. Now friends, here you should also know that we humans have installed hydrophones in places in the sea. Now these devices record any sound on the ocean surface. Now, if Flight 370 has come to this part of the Indian Ocean, then it is obvious that it must have crashed in the water. But no such sound is found in the data of the hydrophone to confirm the collision of a plane-sized object from the ocean surface. Now, even after a year of this painful and mysterious incident, the search team had no evidence. And now governments all over the world have raised their hands. But then something happens that once again gave life to the search operation. On July 29, 2015, a 2-meter-long piece of metal is found on the beach on Madagascar's Reunion Island, which looked like a plane. And yes, experts proved that this is a piece of Flight 370. But how did this piece come to Madagascar, 4,000 kilometers away from the last location of the plane in the South Indian Ocean? Now, when the data of the ocean currents of the Earth was hacked, it was found that all the garbage of the South Indian Ocean flows towards Africa. Seeing this, the search team searched the beaches of many nearby countries and found 31 pieces of the plane. However, only 3 of these could be seen connected to Flight 370, and we could not get any information from it that could explain the plane crash. Now, once again, the search operation begins as the last destination of Flight 370 to the South Indian Ocean. But again, the search team does not find any clue. After about 3 years of search operation, the search for Flight 370 is officially terminated in November 2017. But friends, after the end of the search operation, human curiosity does not end. In mainstream media, the question was still being raised that how and where this plane must have crashed. And after doing a lot of research for you, I have got 6 possibilities that can be linked to the crash of Flight 370. Now, 2 of these are linked to the technical aspect in the plane and 4 to the human aspect. So let's first talk about the technical aspect of this case. Now, friends, as I told you in the beginning of the video, that there were 227 passengers, 10 crew members, and 2 pilots in Flight 370. But apart from so many people, 11,000 kilograms of luggage was also brought on it, and a lot of lithium-ion batteries were also being taken in it. Now, before the incident that happened with Flight 370, many such incidents have come up when lithium-ion batteries burst in a moving plane and the plane has to do emergency landing. Now, maybe in the case of Flight 370, something like this must have happened. And maybe that's why the pilots were taking a turn from the South China Sea and taking the plane back to Malaysia. And the plane must have crashed in the Sea Harbari. But the question here is that if the plane crashed, then it must have fallen somewhere. And if the lithium-ion batteries caught fire in the South China Sea, then how did the plane reach the South Indian Ocean? Well, no one has an answer to this. Now, secondly, these possibilities have been shown that due to some technical flaw, the pressure of the pilot's cabin must have been disturbed, and due to lack of oxygen, both the pilots must have fainted. Now, if I talk in favor of this possibility, then maybe it was the same time when Flight 370 was disconnected from the satellite for 3 minutes. After that, she must have gone to autopilot mode, and the machine must have automatically sent a connection request to the satellite again. And then maybe she stayed in contact with the satellite for 6 hours. But when she was called in the cabin, there was no response from there. But if we talk against it, then you must remember the Penang Island incident. The flight took a very sharp turn from here, and after that, it enters the Andaman Sea area. Now, experts related to the aviation industry strongly believe that autopilot mode cannot take such a sharp turn on its own, because this does not happen in its programming. So now let's talk about how this plane crashed from the human aspect. And the first possibility in this is hijacking. Before the takeoff of Flight 370, 2 people were caught with fake passports. This makes it possible that these 2 or their other companions were present among the crew who hijacked the flight. but the police could not make any terrorist connection even after questioning them. Now, these two were basically criminals who were running away from Malaysia to escape the punishment in the case of theft. And if we assume that the plane was hijacked, then it was not the aliens who hijacked it who will make it disappear. In this case, the plane must have had land somewhere. In 2016, a secret report of the Malaysian Royal Police was leaked, according to which the police found a flight simulator at the house of Flight 370 Captain Zaharia Ahmed Shah. Now, this is a machine that pilots use to experience flying a real plane. Now, it was not a big deal to get a flight simulator, but the coordinates that were fed in it, their end was also happening in the South Indian Ocean. So did Zaharia Ahmed Shah intentionally crash the flight? Well, maybe yes or maybe not, because its coordinates did not match 100%, and even before the end of the South Indian Ocean, this plane danced in the air for a long time. However, the accusation against Zaharia Ahmed Shah does not end here. Some people claimed that Zaharia Ahmed Shah took money from an illegal organization and intentionally crashed Flight 370. Now here the evidence is given that he took the plane to Penang Island because it was the same place where he was born and he wanted to see his city for the last time. However, friends, there was no solid evidence related to the allegations against Zaharia Ahmed Shah. He had the experience of flying a plane for more than 18,000 hours, and he was very rich, and his mental state was also very stable. It means that they could not have come under pressure for some money and caused such a big incident, and it almost seems impossible. Now, after Zaharia Ahmad Shah, the doubtful co-pilot Fariq Abdul Hamid also turns towards him, and they are also accused of being involved in the conspiracy. But what was the reason for this? Well, friends, when Flight 370 leaves Malaysia while returning from South China Sea, Fariq Abdul Hamid's cell phone connects to a Malaysian tower. Now, it has been said that maybe he already knew about the consequences of Flight 370, and that's why he wanted to make a call to talk to his family for the last time. Although it is not necessary that an actual call has been made by them. It is possible that the cell phone automatically sent a connection request after entering the Malaysian territory. Last but not the least, there is also a possibility that America has disappeared Flight 370. Yes, friends, on many islands in Southeast Asia, there are naval bases of the United States. Some experts believe that the United States must have accidentally blown up the plane with a missile. However, there is no evidence of this, and it is also not possible that the United States will leave any evidence after doing such a big thing. And in 2018, a theory emerged that questioned the entire search operation before this. Look, an independent research team from France analyzed all the data again and found that Flight 370 would have reached not in the South Indian Ocean, but on the Christmas Island, which is very close to Australia. However, in recent years, search operations have been carried out here as well, and as usual, nothing was found here either. When I'm making this video in August 2023, till then, no evidence of Flight 370 has been found. What would have happened to Flight 370, and where would its Malwa be on Earth today? Perhaps this question is now eternal. You comment and tell us what you think about this mysterious case. How would it have ended? Give your opinion in the comment section below. If you like the video, then like it. If you are new to this channel, then subscribe to this channel. And also turn on the notification bell, because it is absolutely free for you, but we get a lot of motivation from it. I will meet you with the next episode. Till then, bye.